We hit 100 Mindful Journal Club members earlier this morning, and I am so over the moon, excited, grateful to every single member in this club.
We just finished. I think this is week 8. It's week 9 of the Mindful Journal Club, just like being a thing, and our 8th live journal session. So we just finished it. This one was so good. I think I was just like super excited because we hit 100 members today. We hit 100 members in the Mindful Journal Club today. And we are almost at the 2-month mark. So I'm super, super, super excited to have just been able to bring together 100 people in one way or another to journal and breathe and be and release any thoughts, emotions, craziness, whatever may be happening in our daily lives, releasing that onto paper to create mental clarity and space. So being able to do that has been a true joy. So of course, as you know, this Mindful Journal recap, we always open with an opening prompt. Our opening prompt was very simple this week. It was just, how was your weekend and how are you feeling about the week ahead? Of course, this was Thanksgiving weekend. So a lot of peeps, were spending time with family or just relaxing, having that break to kind of just breathe and feel rejuvenated, right? And ready to shift into the week ahead. This is kind of a really busy season as we go from one holiday to the next, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, all of these holidays, you just feel like they kind of roll right in right when Halloween hits. And we can feel rushed. And so it's important to take inventory and slow down and just reflect on our current space and our current mindsets and where we are in life. And so, how was your weekend and how are you feeling about the week ahead was our opening prompt. As you all know, intention setting is huge for me. Setting intentions means not just doing something just to do it, or not just showing up just because. It means having a reason and awareness, a purpose for doing whatever it is that we're doing. And so I begin our journal sessions with intention setting. And it's really important to do this before I kick off the session because I want people to know why they've showed up. I want them to get out of it as much as they need to, but I also want them to just be present and be aware and to make sure that they're showing up for themselves and not for anyone else's expectations and not necessarily expecting anything, from even me as the host of these sessions, but really just to kind of show up for yourself and to gain whatever it is you need to gain out of this session. And so intention setting, picking up my journal. The question is, what is your intention for today's session? And my intention was honestly just to continue showing up. I love bringing people together in safe spaces where they can simply be all of who they are without feeling rushed or judged or having to be. This concept of having to be somewhere else, having to be someone else, having to be anything but who you are. So intention setting is huge for me. And mine was that I wanted to continue to show up for my Mindful Journal Club members, but then also to be reminded that I'm doing this to bring people together in safe spaces so that they can just be who they are. That's key for me. And then we shifted into a cool mindfulness practice. I always incorporate mindfulness practices. This is the Mindful Journal Club. And so it's important for me to share what mindfulness is through simple, easy practices. And this one this week was about sound mapping. And so this was different for me. I am a singer. And so I hear everything. and I'm obsessed with sound and voices. So sound mapping was fun for me. And the exercise is simply to sit comfortably wherever you are, maybe close your eyes, and just focus and pinpoint the different sounds that may be happening and occurring in your space, in your room, wherever you may be. And I'm still hearing it now, but my response to this was, I hear this tapping sound coming from somewhere over here. It actually is driving me nuts, but I'm focusing. And then earlier, there was air blowing through the vent that I could hear, and I could hear the hum of my computer. At one point during this exercise, I thought that I heard my daughter cry in a different room, and I didn't. But it was an interesting note when it comes to mindfulness, because me thinking that I heard her automatically triggered this response, a reaction from me where it's like, oh, I need to get up and go and see what's wrong. And so the exercise here is to listen to the sounds and everything happening in the room. But then on top of that, figure out where it's coming from. And then to allow yourself to experience each of the noises that you may hear without judgment, right? And when I thought I heard my daughter, again, my immediate reaction was, get up, go see what's wrong. And I noticed that my mind was wandering, which is what mindfulness is all about, right? It's about letting each thought come and go. I noticed that my mind was wandering. And by being in this mindfulness practice, I was able to remind myself that I just needed to return to where I started, which was, I am doing a mindfulness practice to be present, to be here. It's okay that my mind is wandering, but I'm going to bring myself back to what I was doing, right? It's about letting the thoughts come and go. And just doing that mindful practice, it really kind of opened my mind up to remembering simply that mindfulness is a practice, it's a way of life, and that it's okay to be who you are and how you are. When the thoughts come, let them be what they are, let them pass. And that's it. Be where you are, be present. And so this sound mapping one was really fun, and then we journaled about it afterwards, of course. You know, what sounds did we notice? What surprised you? One member said that they heard the sound of their own breathing, and it surprised them. And that's something that I hear quite often, because we don't slow down enough to simply just hear our own breath, the very thing that is the reason for our existence, the breath in our bodies, right? That being shocking to us, to hear our breath, to hear that it's super fast and anxious or calming down and slow, to hear that and to be present and to be aware of that is it's so interesting. And then when we are acknowledging it, it's this whole other level of being present and being mindful. And so it was just fun kind of hearing what surprised them in terms of the sounds that they heard around them. So that was our mindful practice for this week, sound mapping. And so from that, we shifted into our main prompt, which was, I guess, kind of heavy. We were reflecting on our lives, up until where we are right now. The prompt itself was reflect on where you are in your life at this exact moment, but then to also note the significant aspects of your current situation, whether they're challenging or rewarding, and how have those things shaped who you are today. And I thought this prompt was a little tough, simply because it was heavy and it was just something that I haven't thought of in a long time. We have our everyday tasks and things that we need to get done, but we don't always sit and just kind of self-reflect, and that's huge and it's important. So My response to this one, I began with bullet points. My thing about journaling is that I don't need it and I don't want it to be a certain way. There's some people who have like different journaling techniques, and I love learning about them and trying them out. And there's bullet journaling and art journaling and yoga journal, all these different types of journaling. And I just love to write and I love journaling. And so this club is really about no rhyme or reason. It's just about being and releasing whatever it is you need to release on paper. And so we try different types of journaling, bullet journaling and art journaling, all kinds of things, free writes. But it's really about what is best for you. And so I try not to create too much structure around these. I'll throw in some fun prompts and fun ways to respond, but it's really simply about doing you. So I started with bullet points to this response, to this journal prompt about reflecting on where we are. And my prompt started with, well, I'm here. And then I shifted into, I'm a mom of two, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, I'm grounded, feeling grounded, I'm feeling ready. I'm still learning so many different things, but excited, right? Excited for the future, excited to continue learning, excited to see where life takes me. But I'm also embracing this idea of slower living as someone who is honestly just a workaholic and I need to chill. As someone who is that way, embracing a slower living lifestyle, it can be difficult, but it's important to take things slow. It's important to do everything with intention. And it's important because it brings a level of awareness to your life that you wouldn't have otherwise, right? You miss out on so many things that I maybe not necessarily I've missed out on, but I've just missed. And I could have had those experiences in that time if I had just slowed down. So I'm embracing a slower life. And then on the challenging and the rewarding side of things, the two things that stood out to me as challenges or challenging times was becoming a mom, a first-time mom, and then also becoming a business owner. Those two times in my life were very uncertain. To see my own growth at this point in my life, to reflect on that growth, to reflect on feeling grounded now versus feeling chaotic and all over the place before, it feels good. I don't have everything together. I don't. But I can say that through mindful practice and much prayer, I'm in a place in my life where I can breathe. And that's important. And that feels good. And I know that it may not always be this way, but I have the resources, the tools, and what I need internally to get back to this state of being whenever I may need to lean on it again. And so that was, our reflection journal prompt. It's an interesting one when you sit and you kind of just self-reflect, right? Things come up that you may want to keep buried, or things come up that you may have forgotten. And it's important that we reflect, take the time, but then also know that we have to move forward and continue to live our lives and not live in the past. The past helps to shape who we are, but it doesn't necessarily define all of who we are, because we can change and we can grow, and life is going to bring us so many more different situations and experiences, and how we react and respond to them is something that will continue to teach us about ourselves. So that was that journal prompt. And of course, we always end in gratitude. We close in gratitude. I like to open the prompts with just come as you are, release everything. Whether that opening prompt is, how are you feeling right now? Or how was your weekend like it was today? I just want people to come in and just dump everything out. Brain dump. It's my favorite thing to do. And then we go through each prompt and we bring it home, by closing in gratitude and leaving on a high note, high vibrational note, right? And so this gratitude practice was a visualization exercise, and I thought it was fun. It was cool. It was actually interesting what popped up for me. And so we closed our eyes and we visualized someone or something that we are grateful for. And from that, we, imagine that person being right there with us, or that thing being right there with us. And then we took in as many details about it as possible: sound, sight, smells, whatever came up, sensations, whatever came up with the visualization, we took note of it. And then we journaled, of course. And the journaling prompt was, why are you grateful for this person or thing? How does visualizing this gratitude make you feel? And did the exercise bring up any new thoughts or feelings? So for me, what was interesting was that I closed my eyes and I saw my grandfather. My grandfather passed when I was 7. I remember key things about him, but I don't have, of course, many memories other than those 7 years. But he popped up, and I remember that he was tall and that he always sat on the right side of the couch with his newspaper. And I remember his hair. He had hair kind of like a ring, like it was on the side and the back, and on the side, and he was bald in the middle. I remembered quite a bit about his physical stature, but I couldn't remember his voice, which is interesting. As someone who loves voice and holds on to sound, but I can't remember his voice. I remember specific moments with him, and one of the things that I hold close to my mind, my heart, is that he taught me that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And anytime I watch the sunrise, anytime I have a moment to watch the sunrise or see it set or setting, that's what I remember. I remember him. I remember he was the one that taught me that. When I thought about, why I was grateful for him, it was that he taught me what calm was just by being who he was. He taught me that you can live a calm life. And even though he was a man who carried a heavy load, but he taught me how to live calmly, patiently. He used to make the ships in the bottom. He was an artist, and you have to have patience to be an artist. And so he taught me that. He taught me patience. He taught me how to be calm. He taught me to pay attention to things like the sunrise when I was just a little girl. And I carry that with me. And so I'm grateful for that. So, of course, again, we always close in gratitude. This prompt was fun. It was heartwarming to do this visualization exercise. Those were our prompts. Those were our prompts today. They were very fun. Helped us to kind of think and dig a little bit deeper. I encourage you to, follow along, go back, pull up the prompts, write to them, journal about them, and then let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Send me a message, whatever. I'm just curious to know how you responded to these prompts and if they are helpful, if they resonate. Thank you for tuning in, for watching. This is the Mindful Journal Club sessions that we do every Sunday, Sunday evenings or late afternoons, depending on the day. We welcome everyone. The club is free to join. We have 2 tiers, free or monthly. You get quite a bit with the free membership, and we just want people to join. We just want people to connect with us and journal with us. And again, sessions are every Sunday. We'd love to have you join us. If you can't join us and you want to keep watching these recaps, be sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, so you get the notifications when I drop a new video. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.